Hello and welcome to another episode of Nugpot Plays. My name, of course, is Nugpot, and today we're looking at Stygian, Reign of the Old Ones. So this is a turn-based RPG that was recently released onto Steam. Now, I don't know much about this one, but it is pretty much exactly the kind of game I enjoy. Very pen-and-paper sort of RPG, a lot of choice, a lot of building your character into what you're looking to make him. Hopefully fairly story-rich, anything with Cthulhu in the background. The Lovecraftian sort of a horror setting is always a good shout. So let's hop right into this. We'll start up a new character here. Let's go with you. The horrors of Stygian do not discriminate based on your character's gender. However, gender does play a role in some events and dialogues, opening up different role-playing opportunities, of course. What age are we going to be? Young, adult? We could be a kid? We'll just be an adult. Why would I want to play a child? Alright, so our archetype could be an academic, an aristocrat, a criminal, an explorer, an investigator, an occultist, a performer, or a soldier. The investigator tends to kind of fit the whole thing, doesn't it? This character's a private investigator who used to work for Boston Bureau of Investigation. His latest case attempting to locate a missing child turned out to be much more complicated than a common kidnapping. So we get investigation, firearm, and psychology, skills which can be improved to the maximal level. Requires a minimum score of 6 in senses. That's fine. So what do we want to be? A detective, an occult detective. You get a bit more angst. Now, I don't know what any of these mean, but I'm going to assume blue is good and red is bad. An ex-cop or a bounty hunter. I like the idea of an ex-cop. Be a detective who is an ex-cop. Alright, let's see. So our belief system is a humanist, materialist, nihilist, esoteric, irrational, or divine. Rational. I think rational fits the bill for this guy, right? Rational or humanist. If we stopped... So throughout history, mankind has survived countless threats. If we stop wringing our hands and start cooperating, we will live to see the human spirit prevail once more. Or, no matter how unusual or baffling, no phenomenon is beyond the boundaries of science and rational thought. There has to be an explanation. What must be done is search and find it. I think... Let's do the rational. Now we need an identity. Louis Theobald. We'll get a better name than that. So what do we want to do? What's a... Well, he looks like a detective, doesn't he? I think we're going to go with... Although he's a bit too sketchy. I don't trust him. We'll rock the detective look. Nugpot it is. So, our attributes. What do we have? Physique determines your character's general physical prowess and is frequently used with melee and survival. Agility determines the extent of your character's overall dexteriousness. I would have just gone with dexterity, but... and is frequently used with athletics, firearms, melee, subterfuge, and stealth skills. Senses determines your character's overall perceptiveness of the outside world and is frequently used with firearms, so that's the important one for me. We know that much. So let's pop that up a bit. We'll probably want some athleticism. Mind determines your character's intellectual accumulation, as well as cognitive faculties and frequently used with medicine, occult, and psychology. That seems like a good one to pop up a bit. What do we have left? Physique. No, it doesn't need to be particularly strong. Will is the attribute of exercising self-control as well as utilizing spiritual power and is frequently used with occult and survival, or presence determines your character's attractiveness. Let's make it a little more handsome. So our skills, we've got firearms, investigation, and psychology. I think we want to be more investigative. Let's pop firearms up a bit. Psychology... Let's see. What else have we got? Science, speechcraft. I think you're going to probably talk quite a bit in this game, so it's not a bad idea to have a bit more speechcraft rocked in there. So let's see. We've got all our things. Health and sanity. What is sanity? Sanity is the pool from which every mental damage received by the characters is subtracted from. Exhaustion of current sanity pools. Sanity pool points below the critical level results in various mental conditions and neurotic diseases, and it affects your mind and willpower. Attributes, sorry. Alright, let's see. So here we have Nugpot the investigator, who is an adult male. He is rational, and he used to be a cop. So he is healthy and sane. Sure? Let's do it. Let's do it. Ooh, I'm already loving the art style. Venturing into attic. If you're not the brawler type, remember to dedicate a few skill points to stealth. If they can't see you, they can't catch you. It's fair. Town stuck between strange dimensions. See, I always love the Lovecraftian stuff. There's not enough of it out there, or the few odds and ends that do tend to come out are, I mean, they're pretty hit and miss. The locations are always great, but it's kind of obvious when the locations are always the same. But the gameplay usually tends to fail a bit behind, so hopefully with this kind of a game, and I mean the art style looks terrific, hopefully we can do a bit better on this sort of one. Alright, let's hop in. A year has passed since your encounter with that particular fellow, known as the Dismal Man. When last you met, he instructed you, find me beyond Arkham after the Black Day. At the time, these words did not mean much to you, but soon after you would come to understand. On what is now known as the Black Day, under the shadow of the Awakened, the world you knew vanished, and with it your hopes, future, and loved ones. For reasons unknown, the city of Arkham was separated from the carcass of Earth and exiled to the other place under alien stars, a twilight realm between dimensions. Unlike many others, you survived, body and mind mostly intact, ever since you have existed from day to day in the grey gloom of the old eel house, waiting for that enigmatic man to call. A man whose very existence you are now beginning to question. Until you wake into another layer of the nightmare. Until the visit at the old attic. Ooh, and we're going to the old attic now, aren't we? Alright, let's do this. Look at that guy. Do you think he knows his face is all, He looks like Rorschach. Do you think that's Rorschach? Alright, let's have a look around and see what we can do. So it's like a point and click, eh? Point and click. We've got your character sheet. Inventory. I don't have anything. I'm sure I'll get some stuff. Your grimoire. Oh, excellent. I got my spells. Your map. We've got the whole map. So that's downtown and that's Arkham. And we have only found the Dismal Man. What's in here? Locked. Can I lockpick it? Do I have any skills? No. Can I pick that up? Excellent. So we have a lantern. And we can equip the lantern. Put it in my hand. I can. Alright, I'm already loving this. What else do we have? It's like one of those point and clicks, which means I spend all my time looking at the screen trying to figure out what there is. And at some point, we're going to reach a dead end, and it means I haven't clicked on something. But I'm loving the style here. It's great. It's a bit dystopian. Out we go. I don't want to go there. I want to look over here. I want to see what the crack is this way. I feel like I could get lost pretty easily. Let's go find ye old elusive man, because I've forgotten what his real name is. Ooh, the light has increased my max sanity. That's good news. So light is good, darkness bad. That's pretty straightforward. So it's not looking like a great place to live. To be honest, I probably would have moved out a while ago. Uh-oh, skeleton people. Dancing. Well, this is super eerie. I'm loving every second of the weirdness. Alright, what do we have here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'm back. Did I lose? Do I have to start again? Oh. Gone a tiny bit more insane. Alright, let's see. Is there anything in here now? Can I open it up? Oh, I can't. Oh, do I get a trench coat? Do I get a trench coat and a fedora? Because I'm a honest-to-God detective? Oh, yes. 22. Do I need to equip that, or is it just already equipped? What else do we have? We've got a laudanum shot, which is mental and physical healing. That's fine. Anything else in here? A blank notebook, which I don't think we'll need to use. What do we have? Detective's license and a bottle of clean water. A bottle of safe sanitary? Safe drinkable water. I don't know where I got sanable. Press F1 to learn the controls. Do we need anything in here? I mean, it's all pretty. We're not going to bother. We'll figure it out as we go along. Let's have a look here. The decayed fragments of furniture portray the craftsmanship of talented carpenters. How heartbreaking to see their fine work reduced to a pile of scrap. Well, you could repair it. Not hard to replace something like that. Get a hammer. A couple of nails. Problem solved. The wood's good. It's still fine. Oh, good. People are here. That was a bit depressing before. Let's talk. He's too busy playing. All right. Bartender. You see Marino, the manager and bartender of the Old Eel. He's been your host for almost a year now, charging in exchange the last of your precious stones. He has a tendency to suck you dry whenever he gets the opportunity. Don't know what that means. Good morning, Cornudo. If you can call this never-ending fucking twilight morning, what was all that hurly-burly upstairs? Bad dreams? You could say that. Why, I'm not surprised. I recommend hitting the bottle before going to sleep. Makes things easier. Since you're awake, let's talk about the cigs you owe me. You were too drunk to pay yesterday and told me to remind you later, remember? See, that's where that speechcraft's going to come in. But I don't see any bruises on myself, and if I'm unhurt, I must have paid the bill. I'm not in the mood for a pissing contest. I have all the cigs here. I have all your cigs eventually. Later, Cornudo. What is a Cornudo? This is where I wish I spoke another language. The mess on this table is indicative of the short staff of the Old Eel House. If they haven't been cleaned up by now, they likely never will. Fair dues. Oh, I like this guy. What's he got to say? You see an eccentric, middle-aged man completely focused on the dart game. He alone is playing. Exultation all but radiates from this odd fellow. Care for a game of cricket? You don't get a chance to play against the world champion every day. Who are you? Didn't I just tell you I'm the darts champion of the world? I'm also called Herschel. I feel the signs again. A new challenger approaches. Another fool to vanquish. Is it you? Let's do it. Yes, let's do it. Now you're talking. Agility. Can we do it? Ooh. Well, if you're going to throw like that... Maybe that's why I was never good at darts. Because I wasn't peshed enough. Who won? I'm going to assume I did. Herschel looks as if he's stripped from all purpose. Glancing at his expressionless eyes, you feel like you're gazing right into the abyss. He starts to talk slowly. Cheater. I played darts with a guy that I used to work with, and he was one of these guys. He wasn't obsessive compulsive, but everything he did, he got so focused on specific things, and it would be his life's goal to achieve them. He got way into darts, joined teams. He was playing like twice a night, 7 days a week on 3 different teams. He's convinced he was going to be like a world champion dart player. We all went out to the pub, me and a couple of mates and a couple of co-workers, and he lost every single one of us, and it broke his brain. His brain melted, especially given that none of us have ever played darts before. You throw a dart at a dartboard and hope for the best. But people that get really into darts and then lose don't tend to handle it very well, I've learned. I didn't cheat. Oh, come on. Cheater. Oh, I think he's pissed. Uh-oh, what's he doing? Oh, he's losing his shit. Ah, he threw a dart at me. Alright then, does that mean do I have any darts? Oh, I thought he might have. So are my cigarettes Cigarettes or money, is that? This is the new monetary unit of this pestilent reality. Excellent. I mean, not excellent. It's kind of sad, but it's excellent that I have some. You guys want to say anything? No. Alright, out we go. So we are off to face this new reality. I wish they'd let me inside. Alright, what are we doing here? So what do we need to do? So inspect the entrance to the Miskatonic University. Alright, which was down this way, wasn't it? So we're out of the old eel house, sorry. Gotta do something about this, don't I? It's a bit bright, I'm sorry, I'll fix that. I've got a mount, so I'll put the camera up here. It'll be a little less aggressive. I just haven't done it yet. Should go on honest bills. Buy rent, sell and rent. Alright, let's see. What does Honest Bill have for me? Anyone that has to describe themselves as being honest makes me slightly concerned that they're not actually honest. Oh, who's this fellow? It's an unsolved mystery. When you first took for a statue, it was actually the petrified corpse of Bill, who was frozen forever in the exact moment of his agonizing death. The rapidly drying beeswax became his burial shroud. Okay. It's unfortunate. Alright, what's this? And he just smiles. Alright, sketchy. Behind the bars is a stern-looking old man who looks deeply satisfied. Though he looks to be in his 60s, his presence invokes respect and fear. Does anyone do that when they're reading, where they throw in words that aren't there and they're nowhere else in it just because they sort of get into a habit of reading certain things? I've always noticed that. That's why I can never be like an audible narrator, just because I think I make up half the words I read while I go along. Say, are you here to buy something or just wasting my time? What's the wax statue doing? Oh, you mean Honest Bill? He's dead. But they kept him around for decoration, turned him into a statue. He used to own this place, see? Till he crossed Waxface. Yeah, you'll need to tell me about Waxface. Can you guess how they did it? Poured boiling wax over him from head to toe. You should have heard the screams. That's enough, or do you want more details? Boiling wax. I mean, like I've had... You know when you like put your finger in candle wax and it hurts, but it doesn't... I never think I'm dying. We're not talking like a crown of gold poured over you from boiling gold. Or from molten gold. So I don't know how effective boiling wax... And that would have to be a lot of wax. Mind you, I've never had boiling wax poured on me. So I can't say one way for sure, but it just seems like a bit of a silly way to go. He says it unwittingly, the boss. Not much around here these days. He put me in charge of the pawn shop, so here I am. What a dead end. And let me give you some advice. Do not ask about Waxface if you want to live. Now, you buying, or should I ask Charlie to make you leave? Is Charlie the smiling blonde fellow? Charlie the smiling blonde fellow who can fill you with more lead than you need to build a fucking boat. Alright, let's have a look. What do you have to sell? Wow, look at all these sweet hats. We've got a picture hat, a stylish fedora. Get a hammer, but we're gonna stick with our guns because we don't have much in the way of melee. A backpack. I feel like we might need a backpack at some point, but we won't worry too much about it now. Should we get one? How much gold do we have? We've got, or SIGs, sorry, how many SIGs do we have? We'll come back and get it if we need it. I don't want to spend all my money on something that may or may not be relevant in the next little while, so we'll hold on that for now. You never know when we're going to need the SIGs. My addiction hits and I need it. Let me see if I get some Nicorette gum. Save money on that. What is this, the bank? Ooh, what did I spot? A few SIGs and a needle and thread. I will take that. Thank you. Should we pop in here? The door seems to be sturdily locked for a typical building of Arkham with such decrepitness. Who dis? I'm Nugpot. And you? Get lost. Yeah. This could be Edinburgh. Who's this fine chap? Does he have anything to say? Although it looks like he's living wreck with a lot of grease in his filthy hair, the man before you persistently advertises his merchandise, which looks more like trash to you with an unfaltering energy. Welcome to Uncle Rathsack's shop of undiscovered treasures. Don't be shy. Come closer. I have everything you need. Okay, let's see what you've got. What's his name? Rathsack? Does he have anything that might pique my interest? Again, I don't actually know what I need. Oh, he's got a brown suit, though. Brown suit and a whetstone. Although that is not a very flat whetstone. I mean, you can see the curve in it, which defeats the whole purpose, doesn't it? What else have we got? Man, there's a lot of stuff in here. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is a fairly detailed game with a whole lot going on behind the scenes. Great. And the post. Is that a damsel? Should we go talk to the damsel? Look at this dame. She's a looker. You see a skinny woman wearing heavy makeup. Her provocative outfit emphasizes how she earns her living in Arkham. She moves like a person drugged or drunk. Oh, hi, darling. Her words are welcoming, her excitement feigned. Interested in a good time? Sure, I could use some relief. 36 for a nice long one in the back alley. All the special tricks included, but no finishing inside. And if you want a second round, you'll have to pay again. I think... no. 36 for chlamydia is probably a bad shout. Let's go up here. What do these guys have to say? Oh. An earthquake. The lurker. Cthulhu. The one unseen. The hobos are stressed about it. Let's close one. Should we chat with them? See what they got to say? You see a scruffy man dressed in grimy garments. As you approach, you're irritated by the rancid alcoholic stench of his sweat. The swollen syringe marks on his arm further demonstrate the extent of his addiction. As your shadow falls over the unkempt and emaciated rummy, he scarcely opens one eyelid as if he's been anticipating a visitor. Gwen, is that you? Takes a moment to realize that you're not who he expected. Ah, shoot. You alright, pal? Who's asking? The drill sergeant? Pfft, sawed off. Sergeant, interesting guess. Did you serve in the army? What are you, a copper? The last time I checked, the mob turned down the goddamn police station. He chugs his moonshine and spits. They won't tolerate a snoop around these parts, so up yours, mister. Pardon me for saying it, but you don't look very good. I don't need no help. I'm well aware of what Richter's dope does to a healthy person. Do I look like I give a damn? Mentioning the pharmacist's name seems to have given him an idea. Speaking of Richter, what about him? Maybe you could bring me a shot of his morphine if you insist on bantering with this pathetic waste of a soldier. With my contacts, I could supply all sorts of dope. Enough to last you a lifetime, but tell me what happened to you first. Ooh, there's that speechcraft. You're quite the blag artist, aren't you? Ah, what the heck. I lost everything anyway. Might as well lose a few minutes to a story now. You just made a great decision. You're going to hear from me again and soon. You better. Otherwise I'll come searching for you, and there's going to be hell to pay. It all began after I met Gwen Robin, my former, being a poor cobbler's son, I was obligated to put bread on the table, and that's why I joined the Guard, for the extra paycheck. Hailing from an even poorer Arkham family, Gwen was working as a wireless a wireless operator at the base. Boy, phew, she had it. Blonde, nice figure, and how I miss our little escapades. But everything went to hell when she had to quit her job to do some family issue back home. I was shaken and broken, but had to continue with my training, knowing not the worst was yet to come. Then the footsteps of the apocalypse. Cases of mass hysteria, arson, mass murders, power shortages, you name it. National Guard were called to active duty, and I was stuck being a full-time soldier. As I was getting to the end of my rope physically, Gwen's last letter proved to be the final blow. She said we had to break up. She couldn't ever see me again. No reason nor explanation. Nothing. The old Jeremy Parsons died then and there, but despite the profound sadness I felt, I forced myself to see her again one last time, so I just escaped the base by hiding inside an Arkham-bound logistics truck. That is my rummy drunk soldier voice. If you stick around, you'll hear many more high-quality voices that all sound almost identical. And if I get into my Scottish accents, I'm sorry. This is what it means to be human. We're social creatures. The lonelier we are, the more desperate we get. Yeah, I'd rock that one. If it was meant to comfort me, then thank you, sir. But I believe that I failed my duty to this country by holding my personal issue above the safety of our land. I'm no soldier. I'm a hypocrite at best. Best. Alright. So you went to Urkham? What happened next? I did, and for that I will never forgive myself. I'm a scoundrel for turning my back on the proud institution of our forefathers who fought the Empire. How can I betray the legacy of the Minutemen? So you still aspire to be a freedom fighter after all that? If I could. I could if only we still had a country to protect. After coming to Arkham, I quickly realized that I had to avoid detection, so I disguised myself in civilian clothes and buried my uniform somewhere. Then I went straight to Gwen's address. There was nobody in the house. Even their coffee cups were on the table, but they were gone. It's as if she'd vanished, or ne'er even existed at all. I lost track of her ever since. I asked around, but they only met with hostility and apathy. Oh, what a short-sighted fool I've been. Sorry about that, Jeremy. We've all experienced bitter loss. Still do. Hope you find her someday. You seem like a good man. Here, this is Gwen. Will you ask around for her? Maybe you can do better than I did. Sure, I'll do my best. I am a detective after all. Alright, let's see. So this is... The iconic gates of this institution of higher learning lie in ruins. The way is impassable for now. Ooh, but we got a key. What's the key do? Key number 0. Alright, so we need to find somewhere to put key number 0. Let's have a quick look here. Can we start a fire? Reconnaissance. I don't actually want to rest, do I? No. No, I do not. Can't imagine I want to rest yet. Let's have a look in here. Throw a couple cigs. Yeah. Video games have taught me that you should always look in garbage because you'll find gold somewhere. But for the life of me, every time I turn over like a can or I root through someone's garbage or I open random bags lying around, I've yet to find a pound, a dollar, a note, anything at all. Ooh. Well, you're creepy. Hello, sir. The wretched creature before you can hardly be described as human. It is wearing odd, anachronistic clothes and has wrapped its face and hands in tattered rags. Its cringing, confused movements further verify the status of this unfortunate outcast. The humanoid creature is talking with itself in an uneasy, guttural tone. His voice is like a cold breeze blowing from beyond the grave. Why have the cruel gods chosen me for their ghastly amusement? The moment he sees you, the pitiful creature draws back in horror. Wait! I mean no harm. You sense the creature observing you with its yellow, ghoulish eyes, barely visible beyond the filthy rags. The outlandish being starts to talk in a rugged, strangely educated tone. Harm is the only thing your kind brought me. To think I once foolishly believed us to be kin. Leave me alone. The creature scurries away from you. Look at him scurrying. It's not very quick, but the idea is right. Can we go up there then? No. Alright. So, let's call it a day for now. Thank you for tuning in. Again, my name is Nugpot. You've been watching Nugpot Plays. I think what we'll probably end up doing is we'll keep playing this one for a little bit. So we'll make a sort of a series out of these. See what you think of it. If you liked it, leave me a comment, leave me a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing some more videos on these. I've got a couple other games that I'm really excited to play as well. Encased just got released. I've been looking into that one for quite a while. It's sort of a Fallout 1 and 2 Wasteland inspired kind of a game, which I'm quite excited to play, so I'll get into that in the next little while as well. Otherwise, until then, take care of yourself.